What's up, Soul Tribe? How are you guys today? I am feeling fabulous. I feel like the collective is really resonating with understanding that the changes we're going through is an acceptance, and it's almost a very powerful feeling to be so connected to such a good shift right now. We're highly aware of our gifts and what we are here to offer. So I wrote down a couple of things, some scrolls on some energy I was feeling. So let's go, let's get into it. So if you do like this video, like and subscribe. I really appreciate it. Really wanting to grow the vibration, the frequency, and grow the collective. Really having a place to connect and heal and truly understand others' story, as long as and connecting with our own. It's a very softening feeling. It's a very nurturing feeling to have an acceptance of not needing everybody's approval, not needing everybody's acceptance, but it's really nice to connect with others who truly understand. Kind of like sharing experiences. I find it really brings out the vibration, really connects at a soul level. These people that you are connecting with, almost like you know them for a long time. You really feel like you've had the same kind of challenges, not in the same ways, but life has made you seek something more, always known more than what has been programmed, struggling with the programming not sticking, which was in school, if you struggle to pay attention to focus. It's almost like those things that we are put as labels on as ADHD, the neurodivergent, heightened sensitivities. These are gifts. These are gifts from a deeper place, a place of yearning that there is something greater, and being forced to hold in emotions is not natural for you. So it really does create these wounds. But what is so beautiful about being so empathetic and sensitive is you heal. You heal those wounds and become wiser and stronger of who you really are, because you're like, no, that's not who I am. I am here to do more than what the manual says. Okay, so the manual. Alright, so this is a little note that I wrote a while ago, and I've been wanting to say it before each of my videos. I keep forgetting, so maybe it was really meant for right now. Alright, I got my cat ears on. Maybe I am like a cat. I'm feeling different senses. I'm really feeling like transformation and heightened awareness, which does come with, before that, when you may feel pressure in your temples, headaches, migraines, because it's almost like a growing pain spiritually, right? You're evolving. Your mind is getting stronger, and you are using more than our reptile brain has been programmed to, right? So it's almost like when you use your imagination and you create your own thoughts, your own connections. I feel like your mind almost like has these connectors, and some of them aren't turned on yet, you know, they're not active. And I feel like it shoots a wire like a an energy, and it lights up and it connects. And then it's like always expanding with thoughts and imagination. That creative energy is very important. It tends to be the most sensitive souls are the creative ones. So I am divinely guided vibrationally to create a world abundant for me. Transforming a shift consciously. A light so bright that all can see. So I thought that was cute. All right. Not sure if you can see it. So I really feel like it's our third eye being woken, that sixth sense, like transforming what we see and understanding that is not all. What we see is just what we can touch. What we truly have the vision of is more than in your eyes. You don't necessarily see through your eyes, right? You see through repetition. What's familiar, right? We don't see all. You have to, it's our minds, right? Our minds create what we see. So a lot of minds are limited, but we do have those beautiful free thinkers that I'm sure they're here, that have those quirky, well, what if, you know? And those are beautiful moments of enlightenment and originality, Aquarius energy of the dreamer, you know? All right, so let's go through a couple of things. All right, so I'm going to be putting up a video that I was up last night, and I saw the moon was beautiful, so I started filming it with my laptop. So that's why I have to, it takes a little bit longer for me to get it up, but yeah, so it was so beautiful. And when I was looking at some pictures that I'll post those later, this is what it really looked like to me on some of them. Kind of like, so this is for the lunar eclipse. Last night, I mean, that was early this morning, maybe around 2 or 3 in the morning. So that would have been the 28th to the 29th. So what it really looked like at some point is almost like this tunnel, you know, like not a donut, but you could see almost like it was a full circle, right? It was bright, but then you can almost see this light crescent forming, like a crescent moon, right? That's what that side here, which really kind of looked like some kind of tunnel, portal, whatever you want to call it, hollow. And then I was taking pictures, and you could see almost like a lens mark around half of it, not all the way around, quite far out, and it was just really faint. And then I started looking, and it was really cloudy last night, so the clouds would go by and they were beautiful. The clouds would go by, they were really dark, and then you could see the moon, it was really bright. But then I started noticing, as I was staring up in the sky, because there wasn't any stars, that around this, I didn't draw it, but around this, okay, I'll take this one, it was almost like there was far, like a very light plasma, kind of. And I mean, I don't know if it shines out and makes this perfect circular. It was very light. Okay, I'm gonna draw it darker. Not all, imagine it going all the way around like a circle, okay? But I only saw it through this way. So almost seeing, like, what? I had a thought about that. I'm having a moment. Like the moon is a portal. Yeah, so I feel like When you think about it like an eclipse, right? It's one going on top of the other. Now you see it, now you don't. You know? What was that reminding me of? It's like two layers on top of each other. Like if you took two colors, two primary colors, yellow and red, say, and you yellow and then red. So yellow goes on top of red, it would be orange. But the sun and the moon, it's like it almost creates this perfect connecting to an opening or some kind of energetic field, and it's like, I'm not quite sure what that would mean, right? Like a portal, almost like one of those wormholes. Is that what they're called, wormholes? I'm having a really weird thought. I'm trying to remember right now. Almost like maybe we go back and forth between these, like we're in the third dimension, right? Going to the fifth dimension. And it really been feeling like, I've been calling it like upside down world, right? Where it's like, right is wrong, wrong is right, right? There's a lot of, nothing really surprises me anymore. There's just a lot of facade going on, you know, a lot of, watch the news and it's like all this craziness going on, but it's like, it's literally on the TV. There's like two different worlds, right? What is being shown to us, and then where we are when we turn everything off. It's like, it's peaceful. You think and you can create your own. When you watch the news, you can get angry, upset, right? It really creates a totally different energetic pull. So I feel like it's like the sun and the moon. It's like the 3D and the 5D, like the divine feminine and the divine masculine. And then we have Taurus and Libra, right? The sun was in, the solar eclipse was in Libra. So the sun is in the sense of love and balance and harmony, power. And then the moon, the feminine energy, in Taurus, which is again Venus. Interesting. Both in Venus. Taurus and Libra is both Venus. Connections. I feel like we're connecting. This is like a portal connecting to another dimension, right? It's like bringing in the energy of what we are creating. Now I feel like those that are not having awakening and they're not going to be paying attention to the moon. They're not going to be, I mean, it's just the way it is, right? When you awaken, you start noticing how much you like the birds, and oh, that's a cardinal, that's a, oh, it's interesting. And then before, I could care less about birds, right? So I feel like people that are paying attention are bringing in this energy that it's almost like looking at a square and then now it's a cube. Well, and now you're seeing a whole other side, right? Now it's a, I don't know what. It's like looking at adding it's like when you buy a TV and you have just a regular, and then you get HD, right, high definition. It's like you're seeing more details, you're seeing clearly, you're seeing things you didn't see before, right? They pop out. But if you don't really, like, I remember I didn't care that much. I remember when you used to rent movies. Sorry, I'm talking so much, but when you used to rent movies, it would be, you had the option of the standard or the high def. And I mean, I would be frugal and be like, I don't even want to spend that $2 just for a little bit of extra definition, you know, like, so if you're not really paying attention, you'll miss it. It won't really matter. You know, you're gonna stay in the same vibration you're in, and you're just gonna have to, nothing bad's gonna happen, but you're gonna have to repeat the cycles, right? Repeat the cycles. And others are gonna move away, which is hard, I believe, for those in the higher dimensions, 5D, because they know what's going on, and they don't understand why other people are pushing them away. It's like being misunderstood. It almost feels like no matter what you say, it's taken the wrong way, or ignored, or, you know, not heard. But yeah, I feel like this is that energetic time with all the planets. That's all the planets, what's going on. Scorpio season right now. Scorpio season is change, transformation. With it's like forceful, right? Like it'll be not forceful in that way, but I mean, situations will come up where things will progress and transform in a certain way. It just, that's why people that aren't meant to be in our life, I've noticed they more arguments, misunderstood. It's almost like just not on the same page, right? They're not hearing you. It's like, because you're missing that dimension. So it'd be like somebody that looking at a square and you're trying to tell them about the cube. I know I can put something in a cube. You know, you could take something in, the cube is something that you would be able to, like a box, you could put stuff in. But saying that to someone that just sees a flat square and like, what's the rectangle, saying, oh, I'm gonna put some stuff in this box. Well, they're gonna be like, how are you gonna put it in the box? It's flat, you know? And then you're gonna say, oh, it's simple, you know? It's, what do you mean? It's like this. You know, they don't see that extra dimension that you're seeing, right? They're not, it's a triangle. They kind of get my grasp. Say, oh, you can just put it in like this. But this is, I mean, like on a spiritual, I don't mean like physical, but you're talking about something, you're trying to explain something, and they don't understand, they don't see that you can put it in. It gets the other person annoyed, right? Because they're like, no, you're wrong. You're like, it's like you're trying to tell somebody that the sky is green or the sky is red, right? They're gonna eventually, it's going to make the point where an argument is going to turn into total disregard for a friendship or a relationship, because there's going to be so many arguments on, no, I'm right, because you're not in the same, you're not looking at things from the same lens. Yeah, so the lunar eclipse is the final of the 7 eclipses there's been since 2021. So I feel like there's been something building up. I feel like between the dimensions, between the worlds, and now it's like they're connecting. Like there's something going on in the middle, you know. It was growing, and now I feel like, oh, this kind of like opened it up. It's like, oh, that's what I was trying to think of. This is totally what this made me think of. Okay, I saw like a quick video one time on TikTok, and I mean, you'd see the weirdest things sometimes, and almost too real, right? And you're like, you can't explain it because it's almost just taken down. So there was this person that was working at Area 51, and they were doing some kind of electrical work, and they weren't supposed to be videotaping. And he was like, check this out. So he goes into the building, right? Just a regular, and then he goes to like these doors. I guess it's like the doomsday doors, right? Like you lock those things up, but these are big, thick doors. And he opened it up, and you could see, sorry, I didn't say at the beginning, it was day out, or daylight, right? Because he was doing something outside, fixing something, something to do with the electrical poles or whatever. So it was light out, it was bright, sunny day. So he goes through the first door into the building, okay, no big deal, and he goes to these big doors that are, you know, to keep out something big. And when he opened them, you could hear, it would see airplanes, like it was outside. He literally went outside, and it was nighttime. And he was like, just went from there to there. It was like, went through 2 doors, and then went from daylight to, and this was outside. Like, there were airplanes outside. Like, there were some lights from like, just lights that were up so you could see, but it was definitely dark, like middle of the night dark. And all you could hear was like the noise of wind and air, and like air, and big airplanes. This was definitely outside. So it's almost like, where are we living right now in this 3D? Or that crossover between 4D. So I feel like why we're feeling so strange right now, why everything seems so odd, and how there's been so many events that just have made society act out of fear. I think something, like we're in the side of, and it reminds me of the Divergent, you know, when I think it's the second one, or at the end of the first one, where they get out of where they are, and they're in this army kind of place, or whatever, this kind of research place, and then they get out, they manage to get out of the building, and they're in the middle of nowhere in the desert. And where were they? And they realized when they thought they were living in a world somewhere, like living where they thought they were, free and open, they weren't. So are we being opened up to the breakdown of the fake timeline? Since Pluto's been in Aquarius, and I feel like there's been so much in this 1900s fed into programming and selling the solution to a problem that's been created. So I feel like almost like we're living in a fabricated time where we're not in the real essence of Earth. We're living in, I feel like, either a holograph, or it feels like an artificial representation, which could be done from our consciousness, programming, the frequency, the 5G has been put up. I don't want to talk about too much stuff, but I mean, just tuning with all the satellites and all just the energy. I feel like it could really create, like we have one of those, we're like the avatars, or we have one of those gaming devices on our faces, right? So I don't know if we're in this, our minds are creating this narrative that we have, that has been artificially made, and we are continuing it as our family, as our parents keep passing down the same, you know, we would never even know if this happened 100, 200 years ago, right? So that's pretty intense. That's pretty intense. And another thought I had on, it's gonna be so random, but on AI, I mean, I always, artificial intelligence, people are really scared of, and I had my concerns. But when you think about it, I think that artificial intelligence, it feeds off of information and on data of the collective. And I don't feel like it's going to feed into the negative things that have been happening, the fake, I feel like it's too smart. It's too smart. It's going to take the whole essence of what it's meant, why we're here, where we came from. I think it's going to be able to crack a lot of information that wasn't meant to come out. I think it's going to take all these pieces of the puzzle and just come out with a lot of information, and it's going to shock people, and people's beliefs are going to be broken down, and I feel like that is going to end a certain timeline. It's going to either wake people up or unfortunately fade them out, because they're going to be so broken from thinking that they've been told a lie for so long. But it's been multiple generations of lies, right? And this is done by the highest, you know, who this, like, it's what's the point of all the things that we're here, that we do, like war? What's the point of war? I mean, okay, people go to war to fight for the country, but why are we fighting and killing people that we don't even know, have families, don't hate, right? For people who know each other and do hate each other. Is this all for the sales of money? Saying how pretty much when we're born and we sign over our rights with a birth certificate, we are debt to, you know, that we are able to, that we are looked at as debt. Like, we can be sold. There's a price on us. So is that what it is? Like, making money off bullets and selling them in war? It's kind of like giving back their way of thinking that we are giving back our debt. There's just so much confusion going on right now. That's why I feel like we're in the wrong dimension, and I feel like now we're being pulled energetically to see what needed to be funneled out. All right, yeah. So I think we've been in this kind of black sun energy. Diving down the rabbit hole, kind of reminds me of. I feel like there's going to be a lot of holes in stories, and I feel like this is almost like that energy of seeing like looking through the portal, looking through and what the moon is showing us, and it's like be able to see all the color and what the earth is really meant to be like. So here we are, shifting, growing, transforming, really looking at values and simplifying, seeing, really investing into our pleasures, our joys, and looking at the people that we love as those are our luxuries. Those are what we have to be thankful for. It's a luxury to have family, you know. Yeah, so Taurus is also the Empress. Empress is the divine feminine, the evolved, knowing how to utilize love, growth, and harmony. And this creates a uniform cycles, you know, like it's like it's growing energy, nurturing what we already have, the things in life that are free already, water, the earth, and the sun. I mean, that is our healing right there, where we've been taught to put sun lotion on, wear sunglasses, and wear masks when, you know, like we can't even breathe the air. So that's totally going against what we're supposed to be doing: grounding, rooting, walking bare feet in the earth. It's actually detoxifying the sun in our hair. That's where we absorb all our vitamin D. That's why growing your hair out. Not wearing sunglasses because our skin will think it's nighttime, and we have this smart system in us that we know when it's sunny out, and we almost get a little bit of a protector. Don't ask me how, but yeah. So it's like time to go back to self and know that we were divinely made for this planet. So we don't need all those lotions and perfumes and things that are just blocking our pores and blocking our how we sense and feel things. Going back to the morals that connect to our soul. All right, so let's read a couple things here. So I was doing, I can do that one. Okay, I'm just gonna read all the little things I wrote. So forgiveness is very important right now. All lessons were to wake up the child within us. We need to feel what we went through, to accept it, and know that it's not a part of you. It was something so that you could understand and heal it. Going back to the simple joys, separation from the old traumas, complete detachment from who you were, seeing clearly the full picture, letting go, accepting and forgiving what once was, not living in the victim mentality. You're stronger and you're empowered by the highs and the lows. You need to look at the full picture of, you needed to feel this. Remember, we're living in the physical, so the physical, you can't really trust everything. So Spirit is sending us these maybe things that are of lower vibration to fully understand who we are. Not be so unsure, you know. So your struggles and challenges were not to punish you, but quite the opposite. The ancestors' bloodline you have reincarnated in was not by coincidence or because of your own karma. You are the peaceful warrior, is what the ancient ones are calling the earth angels, light workers, star seeds, here to heal Earth's toxic patterns that have been given, that have been programmed using a lot of psychosis and other ways, you know, like the things that were once security / quick fixes, solutions, holding on to comforting habits that held no real value. So we need to let go of what once worked. Simplifying our material needs, external happiness, and coping mechanisms are no longer effective. Time to laugh, dance, sing, and know you are still the same person you are when you were a child. Try to go back to before all the conditioning. Believe in the magic. Believe in what were you drawn towards. There might have been something. For myself, I always thought something quite odd about myself is I would count by fours. I would count by fours, so it would be, I would have to do something on either 4, 8, 16, or almost, I don't know with my numbers I would do that. But I almost see that as looking at like 4 is like a cube, and then it's like 8, you know what I mean? I feel like the more you understand the cube essence of, instead of a flat object just needing to turn, it could be something completely different. Your mind grows a whole other area of possibilities. It's like the internal hard drive, but needing to teach yourself. So you notice that you learn things and things tend to stick, and you understand when you figure them out on your own, when you're always shown things, don't truly understand. It's like no longer copying from a cheat sheet. You can't copy from your friend's answers. It's like this is your own growth that you need to realize from your own life experiences, and they will give you the answer. Write down things, write down timelines, dates. You're gonna start seeing all of the connections. Okay, so I did pull some cards, but I'm not gonna read that card yet. All right, so that starts off weird. House, goodness, all right, so what we are healing and letting go of right now was the energy that was possessing us to hold on to everything that our parents have done and their parents is the best way to do things. Because I feel like it's always a growing experience, right? Something happened when you were a kid, and okay, it made you into the person you are, but maybe that's you. You're that alchemist that can do that, but why pass that on when you can pass on the wisdom, the information, and allow them to grow even further from that, right? That's the evolution. Don't make others suffer because you suffer. That may have been how it was then, but everyone has their own challenges. So, it's okay to give the information that's already available, and let others experience with that new information. It's like, why read from an old book, and read the updated one? All right, so my foot's falling asleep. That is telling me, ow, that I should finish. So, all right, so yeah, we're leaving behind the wisdom, not the wisdom, but the old way of doing things, the old way of, it always has to be a certain way, using the user manual, right? Following directions. And you can just use that tinker up top here in your mind. Your mind is very powerful. There's multiple ways to do things. It wants to follow a certain way. Very robotic. Be the alchemist. Brought by the lower. Alright, so healing the karmic lives, right? Generational things that we are taught or handed down. But also we are becoming aware of what has been put into the energy, installed into how we're meant to live by the lower entities to control and restrict the evolution. They knew about this powerful shift. Fear-based programs were meant to keep the true knowledge and hold you back from being the divine healer. So numbers that I wrote down were 5, 8, 83, 13, and 10. All right. And I did pull some cards. So quickly, on the bottom was the Queen of Wands. So that is, you are arising to your true self and expressing, being grateful for the person you are. Now, it's almost celebrating your gifts, celebrating who you are, as now you realize what your magical power is, and you always knew it. So it's not that feeling of not having to pretend, not talk about certain things. So now you're just owning your energy, right? You're feeling yourself, you're celebrating. I have way too much written on here. We had the Wheel of Fortune. Wait. All right, so we had the King of Pentacles. That was for the main energy. All right, so boss, intelligent, investor, secure financial success, father figure, reliable, responsible. So the current energy around is definitely wanting to stay within the lines, follow this rule, don't ask questions, don't go directly to jail. All right, so I feel like with the King of Pentacles and you're the Queen of Wands, it's